I'm back. I'm wearing the same shirt as my last video because I'm filming it on the same day. Duh. Anyway, so today's story time is about like promposal kind of thing. So let me give you guys some background information on this video. So, okay. I didn't have a boyfriend at the time, and I was taking this AP statistics class, and in front of me sat this kid whose name I won't call. I don't even know what's the guy's name. Okay, I'll call him Dylan. That's funny. So Dylan sat in front of me. We weren't really friends or anything. He just sat in front of me, so we would talk once in a while, like, hey, what's up, how are you, like, or like he would turn around and tell me about his life. But he was like annoying. He was like a really annoying kid because like he was Colombian. And not because he was Colombian, because I'm Colombian and I don't think other Colombians are annoying, or at least not all of them. But he was just so annoying because all he would talk about is Colombia. He'd be like, oh my god, Colombia this, Colombia that, and Colombia, and Colombia, I'm so happy to be Colombian, Colombia, 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 Colombia. That's basically what he did on an everyday basis. And it was quite annoying, you know. I think his senior quote was like, in Colombia or something like that, like, because that's all he talked about. So I didn't have a prom date and prom season was running around. And I hear through the grapevine that he wanted to ask me to prom, and I was like, oh, someone's gonna ask me to prom, like, yay. But like I didn't want him to ask me to prom because he was annoying and none of my friends liked him. And my friends straight up told me, if you go to him with him to prom, like, we're not gonna hang out with you. And like that's kind of messed up, to be honest. Like my friends probably shouldn't have said that to me, but like I was like, no, like prom is my day, like I don't want my friends not to hang out with me. So I was like, I orchestrated this whole plan so I would have a prom date and he wouldn't be able to ask me, because supposedly he was gonna do like this like big thing. I don't know what he was gonna do, like he was gonna do this big thing where everybody was gonna like see, and like that's embarrassing. Like I would like say no to him, he'd be like butthurt, which kind of happened to me before, but that's like a whole other prom time, like a whole other prom and a whole other video. But yeah, so he was gonna do this thing and I was just like, I don't want to go to prom with him, but I don't want to be like say yes and then like later be like, no, I'm not gonna prom with you, or like say no and then like embarrass him. So I was like, I'd rather him not ask me at all, and I'm not gonna be like, hey, I heard you're gonna ask me, like don't ask me, like no. So I was like, I had this one friend, and I'm not gonna say his name, he's not that important. I mean, he's important in the video, but like I'm not gonna even make up a name for him. So he wasn't going to prom at all, and I was like, you should be my prom date, like we should go to prom together. And then he's like, but I don't want to go to prom. I was like, you should go, like you have to come to prom, like you're gonna regret it if you don't come. Like I convinced him to come to prom, like, and I was like, hey, you should come to prom with me. And he's like at first he's like, I'll think about it. And I was like, please, like this guy Dylan's gonna ask me, and like I don't want to go with him, and like please just come to prom with me. And like he was part of my friends group, kind of like I was in this pharmacy class and he was in my pharmacy class, and everybody in the pharmacy class was kind of like close, like kind of. So like it wasn't gonna be like anything weird if I went with him, you know. So I told him to come with me, and he like eventually was like, okay fine, like we'll go to prom together. So I like tell everybody, I'm like, oh, I'm going to prom with this guy. Like I told like everyone so that like he knows that I have a prom date, so he won't ask me. But I just didn't want to make him feel bad. But I guess somehow he found out that like I knew or something. I don't know how he found out. Like I don't even know if he found out, but he was like real salty. Like Dylan was real salty after he found out I had a prom date. And he would like not talk to me, he would ignore me, like it was just really awkward, you know. Dylan was salty and I didn't care because I was never gonna see him again, and I thought he was annoying, and like I want to go to prom with him, and I'm just happy that I went to prom with a guy that was like my friend. And yeah, and my friends hung out with me at prom and like we had a great time. Oh, I know what else I want to say. Yes, I know. So this story gets even more interesting. So the day that I find out that my friends wanted to go to prom with me, there's this other kid in my school that I had like the biggest crush on. Like I swear, like all 4 years of high school I had like the hugest crush on him ever. And this kid's name was also named Dylan. Well, not Dylan, but the same name as the other guy's name. They both had the same name, so I'm gonna call him Dylan 2. So I had the biggest crush on Dylan number 2 for like ever. Like oh my god, I was obsessed. Okay, no. I wasn't obsessed, because if this kid watches this, he's gonna think I was obsessed with him. I wasn't, but I had a really big crush on him, and he knew I had a crush on him. So I find out that my friend says yes to go to prom with me, and I'm like, okay, I have a prom date, like it's cool. Some girl comes up to me and she's like, oh, you're going to prom with this, I shouldn't give him a name, right? Okay, so okay, yeah, my friend that was in my pharmacy class, let's call him Frank. So this girl comes up to me, she's like, "You're gonna prom with Frank?" And I'm like, "Yeah, like he's my friend." And she's like, "Are you guys like talking or something?" And I was like, "No, we're just like friends. Like, what do you mean? He's in my pharmacy class." And she's like, "Oh, I heard." She's like, "Oh, because I know someone that wanted to ask you, and like you would have said yes." And I was like, "Who? Dylan, number 1?" And she's like, "No." And she's like, "Dylan, number 2." And I was like, "No way, like why?" And like, "No, like why?" I was like, "This is my crush forever." And like he was gonna ask me, and like now I have a prom date, and I can't tell Frank that I don't want to go to prom with him anymore because that's messed up, you know. Like I had already said yes to Frank, and did he ask me to prom? I feel like he asked me to prom somehow. Like not a big thing like in front of everybody, but I'm pretty sure he got me like a bear, or like I don't know, he did something. Pretty sure, I don't remember exactly, maybe not. So like everybody already knew I was going with Frank, so, and I was like, I convinced him like he wasn't going to prom at all, and like I didn't want to be an asshole, so I was like, oh, okay, but like whatever. So I ended up going to prom with Frank, and I had a great time. But like later on, before prom, Dylan number 2 texts me, and he's like, oh, like he asked me about Frank, and I'm like, we're just friends, what do you mean? And he's like, oh, because I was gonna ask you to prom, you know, like I wanted to go with a pretty girl. And I was like, oh, I'm sorry, you know. And actually I have a story time about Dylan number 2, so I'll tell you, like if you guys want to hear that story, let me know in the comments below, because yeah, I have a story about him. But we got to prom. I met him there because I told you guys in the story time about how I crashed my car and I almost ran someone over. I'll probably put a card up here. That I almost ran someone over, and Frank found out that I almost ran someone over and that I crashed my car, and so his mom was like not like agreeing with me picking him up and going to prom together. So I drove there and we met there, but it was still fun. We still took pictures. He bought the pictures, but I don't think he ever like got them, you know. Like I think he bought, like we took a group picture like from everybody in pharmacy, like all the girls and all the boys and like all the dates and things like that, and his friends, but I don't think he ever got the pictures because like I don't know what happened, but he never actually, he paid for them, but he never got them. But yeah, we had a great time, we danced a lot. I have another story time about prom. If you guys want to hear that, I'll tell you guys. It's about like my dress mishaps. So I'll tell you guys that story next week if you guys want to hear that. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe down below, and if you are already subscribed, press on the bell icon so you guys will be notified every time I post a new video. Bye!
Just wanted you to know.